Maybe it's the Catholic household I was raised in or the fresh pastures of the Hudson Valley surrounding me when I grew up, but somewhere down the road I've been wired to believe that lamb is mandatory on Easter. If you don't celebrate Easter, I can easily give you a dozen other reasons on why lamb should be a top protein choice this season. For those of you already on board, this recipe should really be a treat. Lots of people get intimidated by a rack of lamb. That's nonsense. This cut is extremely approachable, and with the right tools, probably one of the more easier roasts we'll do on this channel. Great dishes start with great product. I grabbed my lamb rack from the Marbled Meat Shop, a local butcher here in the Hudson Valley that provides fresh Hudson Valley animals. Now these guys went ahead and took some of the labor out of this for me, which you can direct your butcher to do the same, or refer to my prime rib video for a proper French technique to make those bones look extra fancy. Now something else you'll notice here, I had them remove the fat cap. Normally this would be something we prize on a nice beef roast. Here, the lamb fat would actually take so long to render out and cook that it will risk overcooking our delicate meat. A rack like this should really only be served rare to medium rare. Anything over that is kind of a waste. I'm sorry. If you're not into blushing red meats, pick a different cut and save your money. Now you're probably expecting the classic garlic herb-crusted rack, which you can find a recipe online with almost any Google search of the word lamb rack. But I want to keep this simple yet robust. We're going to make a mushroom and coriander rub that will speak volumes to your guest while complementing this wonderful cut more elegantly. Start with any type of dried mushrooms, I'm using porcini, and pulse them in a fine powder in a food processor or spice grinder. Next, toast off some coriander seeds and add them to the grinder and mix to a fine powder as well. Strain out any larger pieces and you're left with a mushroom and coriander powder. Add some kosher salt, black pepper, and just a touch of garlic powder, and this is all you really need right here. Cover your rack completely in the rub, top and bottom. Place on a cooling rack and into the upper third of a 450-degree oven for about 20 minutes or until a thermometer reads 120 degrees on an internal temperature. Allow this to cool for about 10 minutes before slicing. It will help preserve an even pink center while keeping all those juices inside. The time of rest should carry this rack over to about 130 degrees Fahrenheit, which is just sitting on the border of a perfect rare to medium rare. In the meantime, let's work on an easy side. Asparagus get a bad rep. It's a shame. Sure, they make your pea smell, but they're also just so damn good for you. A lot of people just don't know how to cook them properly. You want to grab ones that are on the thicker side. Not the big tree trunks, but also not the pencil-thin ones. Get them somewhere in between if you can. I like to go super high for a short time. Season with some olive oil, salt, and go at 425 degrees for about 8 minutes in the oven. That's it. Pull them and let them carry over a bit, but when they're still bright green and tender in the middle like this, that's exactly where we want them. Not mushy, but still toothsome. For some extra texture, we're gonna make some toasted breadcrumbs. Start with a tablespoon of olive oil or butter in a hot pan. Once it melts or gets hot, add the panko and slowly mix so it all gets coated in the fat. Keep this at medium-high and keep moving to ensure it toasts evenly. This is going to look like nothing is happening for about 5 minutes. It's okay. It's gonna take a while for the breadcrumbs to dry out and then begin to toast. But once they do begin to toast, you have about 60 seconds until they're done. So don't step away from this process. To assemble, get your favorite Conor McGinn plate, lay down your greens. I like to hit it with a little lemon zest and a squirt of lemon juice. Do a small bed of grated Parmesan first, then top with some of that toasted breadcrumbs, a little more parm, lemon zest, and really it's that simple. I like the bed of parm first so the breadcrumbs don't get soggy from the asparagus and will stay crispier longer. But this side is super light, full of texture, and very bright for any spring feast. After our rack has rested, we're going to slice every other bone. For a cocktail hour or a little party, feel free to go 1 bone per serving, but for a dinner as special as this, I like to go 2 bones per serving. If your table is a bit smaller this year, then this quick how-to should be a lifesaver this holiday. Or if you have many guests, I would recommend doing 2 to 4 bones per person and maybe roasting a few of these racks off simultaneously. Just remember not to overcrowd the top shelf of your oven. Working in batches make more sense for you. I hope this video was helpful and has squashed all of your fears of cooking lamb. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. These things actually help me out a ton, and honestly, I love hearing all of your feedback. Till next time, friends. Stay hungry.